Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Helen, the online psychiatrist from Thriving Minds Mental Health. So today we are doing a live session on how to love someone with a mental illness without losing yourself in the process. So this topic we are going to have tonight is one of the topics I frequently receive requests on. It's very important that we understand how to love someone, either a partner or a significant other who has a mental illness, without having to lose yourself, without having to get burned out in the process. So if you are just coming, please drop a heart in the comments so that I will know you are here. So I've outlined my discussion for today into 5 sections, and then we will have a question and answer session. Okay, number 1 here is understanding what your partner is going through. So it's very important that we understand what our partners are going through when they are struggling mentally. It's very important that we do not see them as people who are too fragile to handle real life with us. It's very important that we do not see them as an object or a checklist and keep telling them different things that may make them feel attacked or make them feel stigmatized. Okay, so it's important that we also understand what anxiety or depression may look like from the inside. Some persons who are struggling with mental health challenges may be smiling, carrying smiling faces, and they may not be able to actually come out and tell you what's actually happening to them. So somebody who is dealing with depression may have persistent undue sadness, reduced energy, or loss of interest in previously pleasurable activities. Those are the major symptoms of depression. And people who are having anxiety, they may have physical symptoms or biological symptoms. They may also have psychological symptoms. They may have physical symptoms, racing heart, palpitations, having sweaty palms, and all what's not. So if you are just coming, please drop a heart in the comment section, so I'll know that you are here. So thank you very much. So when depression and people having different kinds of mental illnesses, they may want to struggle and put up a smiling face, so you don't actually know that they're having internal struggles. Okay, so if you understand what your partner was before the onset of the illness, their pre-morbid presentations, you know that, okay, this person is not looking like what I used to know her for. We know that somebody was previously always very cheerful, previously always on the outgoing side, but suddenly the person becomes withdrawn, the person becomes always asking, are you okay? Are you okay? Are we okay? Always trying to need reassurance again and again. Those are signs that something is actually wrong. And the beautiful thing about mental illness is that it's like a mirror. It's very easy to know when somebody is having some struggles, because the behavior of the person will definitely change. What the person used to do before, what the person used to enjoy doing before, the person will no longer enjoy doing them. And that is why it's always important for people to know how to get professional help. And those people who are having mental health challenges, because their system tends to realize that abandonment is kind of on the way, they want to quickly push you away before you get out of them. So please, if you're just coming, drop a yes in the comments so I'll know that you're here. Thank you. I can see some people here. Please drop a yes in the comments and drop a heart, and please share this live so that somebody in your network who is struggling with a partner with a mental illness will definitely get to benefit from this. So you are welcome. So the second section for this live today is boundaries and boundary setting. What are boundaries? Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are bridges. Boundaries are not walls, boundaries are bridges. It's very important that we put some kind of limits or some kind of restrictions when we are having to love someone with a mental illness. The reason why we have to do this is because if we do not set boundaries, there will be a lot of challenges, both with the person and with you. So loving someone with a mental illness, you also have to keep yourself active and alive. You have to keep your relationships going. You have to keep your hobbies going. You have to keep your sleep. You have to keep your rest. You don't have to get burned out because you need to love someone with a mental illness. The only way you can love someone is to have enough in your emotional tank. If your emotional bank is running on zero, you will not be able to love someone with it. You will not be able to love someone else, even whether the person has a mental illness or not. Okay, so you need to have, you cannot love from an empty cup. Okay, and self-love, self-care is not selfish. It's very important that you have some emotional bank so that you will be able to give to someone else. So that is why we need to set boundaries while loving someone else, particularly people who are struggling mentally. If you do not set boundaries, if you do not set limits, there will be burnout, there will be resentment, and also you will also have to face some maybe severe mental distress. So at the end of the day, instead of us managing one person, we're now having two patients to manage, which will not be good for both you and also your partner. So it's very important that you learn that boundary setting is very, very important. And when you set boundaries, some persons who are refusing to get help, some persons who are not even willing to appear, they keep resisting the help that you are offering them, just stepping back a little bit may just be what will help them out. Some persons will even make more sense out of the boundaries than even what you actually tell them yourself. So, setting boundaries does not make you a bad person. You can set healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries will make the person realize that, wow, this is very, very important at this point. You could say something like, I'm here for you, but I can't be your only support. I am here for you, but I can't be your only support. You could also say things like, I love you, and I really want the both of us to get help. So that statement alone can change a lot of the dynamics between you and the person you love who has a mental illness. So if you're just coming, please drop a yes in the comments so that I'll know you are here. And please share this live with someone in your network who might benefit from this information. So the section 3. Before I go to section 3, I want to find out, among what I've just listed, does any of this resonate with you? If it does, please drop a yes in the comments. I'm going to answer all your questions. And if you came with your questions, please drop them in the comment section. I'm going to answer everything. So section 3 is emotional support versus over-responsibility. Okay? When you're providing and offering emotional support to your partner or to any person whom you love that is struggling mentally, it means that you're being present, you're being available, you're always showing up. That is emotional support. You're present, you're listening, you're available, you're always showing up. That's emotional support. But when you are engaging in over-responsibility, is when you're trying to fix the person. You're not seeing the person like a tool to be fixed. You're seeing the person like someone that you're trying to rescue. You're seeing the person like someone that you're trying to control. Okay? That is over-responsibility. So, how do you differentiate it? How do you know when you're providing support to your partner and suddenly you have crossed the line into over-responsibility? When there are signs that will tell you that what you're doing is no longer emotional support, it's now over-responsibility. How do you know that? Firstly, you now become more worried about them than they even are for themselves. Okay? You're now becoming more worried about them than you are for yourself. You are not feeling guilty when you have to take some little break and take care of yourself. You're not feeling guilty. You're feeling guilty because you had some little time to take care of yourself. When their mood depends on your mood, whenever you see that they are not happy, you decide that you will not be happy. Whenever you see the person not looking cheerful and bright, you will not be happy. You only get to be happy whenever you see the person smiling. You say, "Nah, I can smile." So that means that you are now allowing their situation to now control your own life. So that is what we call over-responsibility. Okay, you now stop taking care of yourself, you stop sleeping, you stop resting. That is over-responsibility. It is not emotional support. And over-responsibility does not help anyone. it doesn't help your partner and it does not help you. But responsibility is actually counterproductive because it will hurt you and it will hurt your partner. You will now become burnt out. You will now begin to show some signs of easy irritability. You will now start showing resentment. And before you know, you tarnish and damage the relationship between you and your partner. That is by responsibility and it does no good. Okay? So these are the signs that you know that. So when you love somebody with a mental illness, you're showing the person emotional support. You will also be able to take care of yourself. You will also be able to have your rest. You will also be able to have your sleep. You keep your relationships. You keep your hobbies. Okay, you keep your activities of daily living which you previously were engaged in. You will not be able to, you will not stop any of that. That means you are providing emotional support because you have emotional bank, you are providing emotional support, and to go both ways. You support the person, you support yourself. That is emotional support. So has anyone that you know ever struggled with setting boundaries with someone that they love? If yes, please drop a yes in the comment. And if you are just coming, please share this live to someone in your network who might need to benefit, as they may be struggling with someone who is having a mental challenge. Alright, so the next section is section 3, which is emotional support versus, okay, we've talked about emotional support and responsibility. So now we're going to talk about section 4, which is what's going to encourage professional help. Okay, when to encourage professional help is when you now realize that showing love alone will not be able to fix the problem. Remember that when you have a partner struggling mentally, you are the partner. Your duty and your responsibility is to love them and not to treat them. You're not a therapist. Therapy costs so much for a reason, because it requires training, it requires boundaries and objectivity. So your duty is to love your partner and not to start treating them. You're not their doctor, you're not their psychiatrist. Your responsibility is to love them and not to treat them. Okay, so basically I just come in, drop a yes in the comments so that I know that you're here, and please drop all your questions in the comment section. I will read all of them live and I'm going to respond to each and every one of them. Okay, so when to know that your partner needs professional help is that when you are now when you now know that love alone cannot fix it. It's now beyond what love alone can fix. And while you are trying to suggest emotion and professional help, you must also be very careful. How you say it matters. Some persons, when you tell them you need therapy, that statement alone can make them feel broken. It can make them feel like, oh, so I'm now damaged without beyond repair. Yes, you make them feel like therapy is normal. Normalize therapy. Normalize therapy. Let them know that therapy does not always take place in the home setting. That you need someone to talk to. I need to get help. Would you mind joining me to get help? Okay? You can say something like, I want the both of us to thrive. I want the both of us to survive. Talking to someone could help me. Talking to someone has helped me. Talking to someone would help us. That's a way to normalize therapy and make the person not feel broken or feel attacked or feel ashamed because the person wants to get professional help. So you can normalize therapy. Bring therapy up in normal discussions. When the person is having a good day, you talk about therapy. When the person is having a bad day, talk about therapy. When you now bring up the issue of therapy only when the person is having a bad day or having some spirals, then the person will now feel like, oh, you only talk about therapy when you see me in this condition. That means that you are stigmatizing me. So when you normalize talking about therapy, when the person is on good days and on bad days, then the person will be able to feel happy and even more likely to accept it than when you make it look like it's only when you are in a bad situation that you should go for therapy. Okay, so normalize talking about therapy. Therapy is strength, it's not weakness. If you're just coming, please drop a yes, a heart in the comments so that I know you are here, and please share this live to someone in your network who might need to benefit from it. Section 5 is protecting your own mental health. You cannot draw from an empty cup. You can't draw from an empty cup. If your emotional tank, the emotional bank is running on zero, it's almost impossible for you to love someone when your emotional tank is low or running on empty. Okay? Self-care is not selfish. It's very necessary. You have to love yourself so that you will know how to love others. Sometimes you need to say no. When thinking of someone with a mental illness, practice learning how to say sometimes. Just set boundaries, learn how to say no, and take care of yourself. If you're used to going out, making your hair, having a sit out, taking care of yourself, going for a spa, please do not lose all those things when you're taking care of someone. You need to take care of yourself also. There are some things that you must maintain while caring for someone with a mental illness. You must maintain your friendships. Don't keep your friendships away. Don't keep your hobbies away. Maintain your friendships. Maintain your relationships. Maintain your own therapy or support system. Maintain your own rest. Keep your own sleep time active. Okay, so that you will also be able to love someone with a mental illness. So what is one thing that you have done, or what is one thing that you normally do to protect yourself, to protect your own mental health when you're struggling with someone who has a mental health challenge? If you drop that in the comments, I'm going to read it out and everybody will hear the answers to the questions. Alright, so now we are going to move over to the question and answer section. During the week, I received some questions and I'm going to be reading them out and also giving the answers as necessary. Alright, so if you're just coming, please welcome, grab a seat, drop a yes or a heart in the comments, and please share this live to someone who might benefit from it. My first question here is, what if my partner refuses to get help? What do I do? What if my partner refuses to get help? What do I do? This is one of the most painful places to be in a relationship. You see someone struggling. You want to help. You know that they need help. You want to help. You actually even offer the help. But they don't want to take that step. They're not accepting it. So here's what I want you to remember. You cannot force healing on anyone. You cannot force healing on anyone. What you can do is to plant seeds and nurture them. Okay? So instead of saying, you need therapy, which can even feel like an attack, you can say something like, I've been thinking about talking to someone myself. Would you ever consider us going together? So that sounds nicer. And there's more tendency for the person to accept that than for you just saying, you need therapy. Some persons will feel like, oh, so I'm now damaged beyond repair. So I'm now they feel stigmatized. They feel attacked. Wow, I need therapy. So when you now say, I've been thinking of talking to someone, would you ever consider us going together? The person is more likely to accept that. It removes the shame and also sets a personal boundary. When you set a personal boundary, when you set some boundaries, your partner or the person you are taking care of is more likely to accept help when you take a step back than when you're just there and the person doesn't even want to see life outside of you. Okay? So sometimes boundaries motivate people even more than your words ever will. So second question here is, how do I support my partner without making them feel like a burden? This is a very, very beautiful question and a very important question. And for the person that's sending this question, the fact that you even send a question like this show how much you care about your partner. So when you say things like, so it depends on what you say to your partner. Saying things like, I'm glad you have told me this. Or you say things like, thank you for trusting me with this information. So you keep reassuring them regularly. That's a way you can you can help your partner without making them feel like a burden. You keep reassuring them. So you keep being present and keep telling them, sharing your beautiful moments with them, both when they are in their good days and when they are in their bad days. You keep talking to them, sharing your good moments with them. Tell them, I'm happy you told me about this. Thank you so much for trusting me with this information, trusting me with this. Secondly, don't treat them like they are too fragile to handle real life with you. You still laugh with them. Still do normal things together. Do normal things together. Don't be too emotionally over-involved. Don't keep telling them that, they want to carry a bucket of water, they want to do some personal activities, and you say, no, I'll do that for you. You get too emotionally over-involved. Let them do what they used to do before, what they are used to doing. Don't keep wanting to be over-involved in everything that they are doing. Like somebody wants to carry a bucket of water, you're saying, don't worry, you're not strong, you're not well, I'll do it for you. Let someone else come and carry it. No, let them do their normal, just let them normalize their activities. And you too, do normal things with them. If you sit down at the dining and eat together before, keep doing that. Don't make it look like you should not associate with them because they have a problem. No, do normal things together. Just keep doing. Don't treat them like they're too fragile to handle real life with you. And thirdly, check on yourself too. When you are okay, and your emotional tank is full, it's very easy. You just naturally make others feel less like a burden because you are okay. The reason why you are feeling like someone is a burden to you because you are not okay. If your emotional tank is full and you are fine, you're having a good sleep and a good rest, you'll be able to, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if your tank is empty, how do you pour from someone else? So self-care, self-love. Practice self-care, practice self-love. Self-care is not selfish. Self-love is not selfish, okay? When your partner consistently refuses help, check on yourself so you cannot run on. So the third question we have here is, when is it okay to walk away from a relationship because of mental health? When is it okay to walk away from a relationship because of mental health? I'm going to answer this question very carefully because it's a very sensitive topic. The thing is, love is not enough reason for you to destroy yourself. Walking away is okay when you notice that your own mental health is now severely deteriorating. I use the word severely. When it's now severely deteriorating, at that point, when there's a form of abuse, any form of abuse, mental illnesses may come with some level of abuse in one way or the other, particularly when they are not well controlled. Okay, so mental health struggles do not excuse abuse. When your partner consistently refuses help and refuses to acknowledge the impact that them not having to accept help is even having on you. So when they refuse to get help and they refuse to accept the impact, that you can't even see that them not even accepting help is actually damaging you and even themselves too. So at that point, it will be time for you to take a step back. Staying in a relationship that is breaking you helps no one. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it will now be two patients that we are managing instead of one. So it's always important. That's where we talk about the boundaries. You need to take a step back. When you now realize that the person is persistently refusing to accept help, and it's actually having severe mental health consequences on you. So the first question I have here is, how do I know if I'm codependent or just being supportive? This is a very important question, and it's very important for us to understand the difference between being emotionally supportive and being codependent or over responsibility. When you are emotionally supportive, when you are supportive, when you are providing support to your partner, you're being present, you are available, you're showing up, you're always listening, you are ready to listen, you are available, you're present, you're showing up. Okay, that helps you, that helps your partner. But when you are codependent, it now means that your mood depends on theirs. When you see that their face doesn't look like so cheerful, you decide that you will not be happy. You now notice that you are now more worried about their own mental health challenges than even you are for yourself. So that is when you know that this is codependence. It's not being supportive. And being codependent, codependency does not help anybody. It damages your partner and it damages you who is trying to help. Okay, so their crisis becomes your crisis. You cannot rest until you are okay. You stop taking care of yourself. Even you stop taking care of yourself. You stop showing up for your friends. You stop showing up for you stop and attending to your hobbies. You stop taking your ideal rest time. Okay, you stop even sleeping. And these are issues that need to be addressed. But most of the time, when you see yourself doing that, it may not really be your fault. It may just be some reflection of some childhood traumas which some persons have actually lost and repressed over a long period of time, but it still needs to be addressed. Okay, for the both of you, it needs to be addressed. Okay, because you do not want your own personal experiences to come as a challenge, or even at the end of the day, if these issues are not addressed, it may tarnish the relationship you have between you and the person that you love. So, if you are just joining us, please drop a heart or a yes in the comments and drop your questions so that I know that you are here. The fifth question I have here is, how does anxiety show up differently in relationships? How does anxiety show up differently in relationships? Anxiety in relationships can be very sneaky, can be very tricky. Can be very tricky and sneaky because it often disguises itself as other things. An anxious partner might constantly seek reassurance. Are you okay? Are we okay? Okay? They always want to be sure that things are going on well because they feel like abandonment is on the way. Abandonment is on the way, so they want to quickly push you away before they see you leaving them. No, so that's why I said anxiety can be very, very tricky in relationships. So they avoid conflict completely, not because they don't care, not because you don't care, but because conflict feels catastrophically dangerous to them. So they want to avoid conflict. They might want to push you away before you can even leave them, because they just feel like abandonment is the way. They want to quickly push you away. They'll show you signs of. They may even want to start abusing you when they feel like you will soon leave them. They want to start abusing you, start becoming irritable, start becoming even destructive in some cases that are not well managed. So that is how anxiety. So as anxious partners, they need safety. So when you consistently show up, you consistently reassure them, and you consistently stay calm, even when they are in a bad mood, even on their bad days, even when they are in their spirals, you continue show up, you continue listening to them, you continue reassuring them. Over time, the nervous system will now learn how to trust you. Over time, when you constantly do that and they feel safe with those words, they feel safe with your presence, they feel safe with you listening to them, they feel safe with you just being present. With time, it trains their nervous system to, with time, trust you with their information. Okay, so before I go, I want to quickly say this. Loving someone with a mental illness is one of the hardest and the most beautiful things that you can do. Loving someone with a mental illness is one of the hardest and the most beautiful things that you can do. But you cannot do it at the expense of yourself. You cannot erase yourself because you are loving someone with a mental illness. Okay, so you need to remember these three things before I go. Firstly, you are not responsible for fixing anyone. You're not responsible to fix anyone. You cannot force healing on anybody. Healing is a personal decision. You cannot force healing on anyone. When somebody wants to go for therapy, they're ready to go for therapy. And when you feel and you see that they are there not consistently refuse accepting therapy, it's affecting your own mental health, at that point, you may need to take a step back. So boundaries are acts of love, not rejection. Boundaries are bridges, they are not walls. They are acts of love, not rejection. And again, getting help is strength. It's not weakness. It's strength for the partner, it's strength for the person you're taking care of, and it's also strength for you. So if tonight's lesson has resonated with you, please follow this page for daily mental health content. Share this live replay when it is done, and if you are ready to talk with someone one-on-one, the link is right here. Click my bio for the link. You can actually click the link. It's a Google form. You state your request, state exactly what you want us to manage, and you get a response within 24 to 48 hours. Please follow this page for daily mental health and awareness tips. This is Dr. Lady H. We are still in the process of transforming the name of this page into a pure mental health cover. We're already rebranding. So thank you so much for your time, and God bless you. Bye.